Welcome to Muscle in the Morning, brought to you by IronMag Labs. Make your mark. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Thursday, July 14th, 2016. Let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. We're 10 weeks out from the 212 Olympia, where we're bound to see an all-out battle royale. And if there's one person you don't want to be standing next to when the cage drops, it's Guy Cisternino. This week, the toughest man in the 212 division was spotted training legs in typical Quadro fashion, hard and heavy. Already this season, we've seen Cisternino hit the stage and look like a man possessed, collecting a few wins and leaving a trail of broken souls in his wake as he continues the ascent to the top of the proverbial mountain. Last year, Guy brought was arguably his best all-time look to the Olympia and finished with a career-best 6th place. And considering that he's improved his placings every single time he's made the trip to Vegas, you'd have to think that he's going to do whatever it takes to scratch, claw, and fight his way up into that top 5. After barely letting the ink dry on his brand spanking new pro card, future classic physique star Robert Timms is already making his first preparations for the pro stage. This year's Junior USA champion recently announced that he and coach Dennis James would be bringing his talents back to the stage at John Lindsay's Pacific USA Championships, which is set to go down August 20th. Tim's physique looks like it was tailor-made to step right in and become a dominant force from day one in the new division. With big round muscle belly, small waist, and golden era V-taper, he has a real shot to start competing for wins from day one. And the word coming out of Team Menace is that they're on the hunt for a spot at this year's Olympia. So the competition better not start easing off the accelerator, because in a few weeks, things in classic physique are about to get a whole lot more interesting. Right now, we're just about a month out from this year's Tampa Pro, where it looks like South Florida native Ryan Pateracki will be making his way to the stage for the first time this season. Earlier in the week, new photos surfaced of a gigantic-looking Pateracki 4.5 weeks out from unleashing what appears to be the best look of his pro career. The former NPC National Super Heavyweight champ must have really done his homework during the offseason, because not only does he look to be packing at least 10 pounds of new muscle, but he's also sporting the best level of conditioning we've ever seen from him this far out. At 260 plus pounds on stage, Pateracki has that brutal, no-holds-barred sort of muscle that only comes from years of being in the trenches. And if he continues to keep the train rolling without any unexpected delays, we're going to see him roll out a top performance that might just be the best of his career. Speaking of athletes looking to make their season debut down in Tampa, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention second-year pro Roman Fritz, who also announced that he'd be heading stateside to make his 2016 debut down in the Panhandle. Earlier in the week, Fritz released some new candid posing footage showing off his trademark blood and gut style grainy conditioning, along with a whole lot of new added thickness to go along with it. During last year's rookie campaign, Fritz managed to bring home a top 10 finish in a pretty damn tough lineup back at the Prague Pro. But this year's version of Roman 2.0 already looks to have blown that look right out of the water. With another month left to keep making improvements and another 6 weeks to go before hitting the stage at what's going to be a historic event at the Arnold Ager, there's still plenty of time to tweak a few knobs and make sure he dials things in just right. And I certainly wouldn't be surprised to see him lock down a top 5 finish in Tampa before making his way to the Arnold with some real momentum behind him. Just a few days out after making her second foray into the world of figure, our old friend Christina Farnsworth is already back on the grind. Since announcing that she'd be making the switch from women's physique over to figure earlier in the year, slowly but surely, the Danish Diamond has been rounding herself into form, even managing to bring home her first top 10 finish in a pretty deep lineup in Vancouver, which is even more amazing when you consider the fact that less than 1 calendar year ago, we were talking about her as one of the breakout stars in physique following her debut Olympia performance. So if she can just keep her nose to the grindstone and focus on finding ways to get better each and every time on stage, There's as good a chance as any that history can be made before the year's end by her becoming the first woman to ever compete in both the physique and figure Olympias, which isn't a bad thing to be headlining your resume. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning, brought to you by IronMag Labs. Make your mark. Check out IronMagLabs.com today. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions. And make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Hey guys, it's Stevie B here. If you like what you're seeing, hit the subscribe button below and never miss another RX Muscle show, segment, or update. RX Muscle is #1. Woo!